Okay guys, we've got a bunch of products here at 1STMAN. We've got our men's lifestyle supplement, which is everything that a man needs on a daily basis. We've got our natural diuretic supplement, Defined, which allows you to get an angular face, removes all the water, especially good for summer. We've got our Male Advantage book, which is a paperback. You can order this, or you can get this in audiobook format or ebook format. We've got our Better Looking Man course, which I'll bring up pictures on screen now. And we've got my personal diet plan and fitness plan in ebook format. On top of this, guys, we've got a body wash coming out soon, part of the testosterone friendly range. We've got men's boxers and a whole clothing line coming out soon. A whole bunch of products, but for now, let's get back to the video that you actually wanted to watch. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. I think this might be one of my most important videos ever, okay? One of probably, in terms of self-improvement, it might be my most important video ever, okay? And the message of the video is that everything is reps, and I'm going to explain that. I've said, I feel like I said this in every video, but I'm coming at 30 at the end of August. I've seen a lot of different scenarios in life. I've seen a lot of stuff happen. I've kind of got good and bad and strengths and weaknesses in like multiple different areas at different times. It's never been the same. When you're 18, you have things you're good at, things you're bad at. When you're 30 or above or whatever, you've been good and bad at multiple different things. Like, you have talents. Like, I'm fast at running. I'm very athletic. I'm naturally good at boxing and stuff like that. I'm, you know, just sporty, whatever. Like, I'm quite, you know, in that sense. I'm good at football because I played it all my life. You know, it's just certain things that are there. No matter what I do, I'm still pretty good at them. But it's like strength. When I was training to be really strong, I was really strong. Now that I'm not training to be strong and I'm training more for like aesthetics and conditioning and whatnot, I'm still pretty strong. I'm doing like 8 reps of 50 kg dumbbells, but they used to feel a little bit lighter. And it's like I realized I'm not, and this is what I mean by reps, is like when you do something more, you just become better at it, right? And that's so simple as a concept. But I remember, like, I was stronger than all my friends when I was young, but I never went to the gym. They started going to the gym, I went with them, and I couldn't do the weights that they were doing. After like a month, I was stronger than all of them. It's like, here's the kicker of the whole video. You become really good at what you work on, and you become really bad at what you don't work on. Like, it's so simple, but it's almost like a revelation. For example, I haven't been chewing the mastic gum until like 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. I've been chewing it pretty much every day. I've had some really, really good results. You know, I didn't really have a social life before this year. I've like really adapted my lifestyle and tried to have more of a social life. I'm once again very good at talking to people after having like a year or year and a half of being really awkward. But before that, I was in sales and I was really good at talking to people. It's like, so there's a skill there that I'm really good at something, but if I'm not using it, then I'm shit. Right? And everything you do is reps. And this is the thing, you can't do everything at once. And this is one thing that I've really noticed recently, is like, I try to push forward on all fronts in terms of self-improvement, but there's just not enough time. There's not enough time to be good at everything at once. So one of the best things you can do in life, I think, is just find like a handful of things, like 10 things, and be like, I want to be fucking amazing at those 10 things. I want to be really strong, in great shape. I want to have a really good face. I want to be healthy. I want to have great social skills. You know, there's some people out there that can drink alcohol like a fish. Why? Because they drink all the time. I barely drink, right? And I don't know what my tolerance is anymore, but I imagine it's pretty shit compared to what it used to be when I used to drink all the time. It's reps. I'm not drinking often, so I've become worse at drinking. Okay? It's like, remember when you used to go to school, right? And then you'd break up for like the summer holidays or spring break in America or Christmas or whatnot. You'd go back to school, you'd pick up your pen, you'd go to write, you're like, I can't even write. Like I used to have this. My handwriting was 10 times worse. I couldn't write. I was like, this is weird. Like it was awkward. Like where we're typing all the time, you go to write and you're like, my hand just doesn't match that movement. If I don't box for like a month, my rhythm's off. I don't hit the punches the same. My twists like aren't quite there. If I don't bench press often, my bench press goes down by like 5 to 10 kg. It's just like whatever you do in life, it's all reps. It's just if you continuously do it, you get better at it. So then that makes a decision, right? And this is the thing. You have skill. You have skill. This is a big thing here, guys. This is why I wanted to make this video, right? Because it's more an optimism video than it is just like obviously. But like you have skill and you have natural ability. But the guy who puts the most work in and trains the most at that one thing ends up becoming really fucking good at it. Now, there's a genetic potential in anything that you do, or just whoever you are, personality potential, whatever it might be. But what I've noticed is I've seen weak, small guys train like crazy and become the strongest in their friendship group just because they're the ones doing it more often than anybody else. I've seen guys with the lowest level of confidence become the alpha males in their group from just doing stuff that tested them a lot more often. You know, I've seen people go from the bottom to the top in so many different areas of life. People who were shit scared to do... I saw something the other day, they were talking about The Weeknd. They were like, he was the quiet guy at school. So Megan Fox, she was the quiet girl at school. Like, she was always kept herself to herself. Now they're the most confident celebrities around because they're doing it more often than anybody else. Right? So it's such like a belief system to you guys. Now, could the smallest, skinniest guy watching this go and knock out Francis Ngannou if he just practices his punches more often than Francis? No. You're going to get knocked out. Okay? There's a limit. But you can become really fucking good at things that you were really bad at before. Okay? I learned that when I was young from video games. This kid beat me on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. The one with the hanger at the start, when you like drop in. I can't remember which one that was. It might have been like 3 or 4, whatever. And I didn't like it. He smashed me. So I went home, bought the game, played it for a week non-stop. The next Friday at that youth club, I battered him. Beat him by like 100,000 points. I was just doing all sorts of moves. I was combining combos into manual wheelie. I can't remember what it is. Is it just manuals? And I smashed him to smithereens. And he was like, how the fuck did you get so good so quick? I just obsessed. I played it all week, that same level. I just did the same thing on repeat. And within a week from never playing the game, I beat this kid because I didn't like losing. And you can do that with almost anything. Almost anything, guys. Honest to God. You can become really fucking good at almost anything if you just spend enough time on it. And you can beat people who are miles better than you to begin with. We're seeing it with like Jake Paul at the moment. Jake Paul practices boxing a couple years, starts beating professionals. People who have been doing it their entire lives. Just because he's just giving it a go. He's just practicing. You can increase your skill set so drastically. And that's one thing I realized is if you don't use it, you do lose it. Okay, and it doesn't just go for muscle or whatever. It goes for like if I'm not on camera for a couple of days, I'm not as good. I'm not as good at talking. If I don't, do my kind of... I just talk to people randomly on the street, okay? I just say stuff to people, I compliment people, whatever. If I don't do that for a few days, my confidence isn't as high. My social skills aren't as good. If I don't drive as often, my driving skills aren't as good. If I don't chew that gum, my face doesn't look as good. If I don't do my cardio and sweat, I just look slightly worse than I did last week. If I don't do my skincare routine, I just look slightly tired. Do you know what I mean? Or my skin looks slightly grayer. It's all these things, guys. You can literally pick a handful of things and be like, I want to be really fucking good at those things. I want to obsess over those things and I want to become really fucking good at them. And that's what I'm going to focus on. Because it's all reps. It's just repetition. It's just do it more often, you become good at it. Don't do it, you're going to lose it. So you got to pick and choose. You got to say, I've got a limited amount of time in my life. What am I going to do? What do I need to be good on? What's got the most bang for the buck? Do you know what I mean? And it's one thing that I've really figured out recently. Is what am I very good at already? Well, let's spend a lot of time on what I'm already really good at and see how far we can push it. You know, the gym, like I said, is a great example. I've been strong, I've been lean, I've been conditioned, I've been an athlete younger in my life. I've done calisthenics and been fucking amazing at it and been able to do muscle ups and spins and all this shit. But then at different times in my life, I've been a lot worse at those things. So it's just like, it just depends what you're working on at that given time. So anything that you want to accomplish, guys, if you put enough work into it and you do it enough, you'll get really good at it. It helps if you're already good at it. But just be careful about what you're working on, what you're slacking off on, because you can gain it quickly, but you can also lose it just as quickly. So choose your 10 things. What do you want to be known for? What's your identity? You want to be the jacked guy who's really strong, who's got high confidence level and talks to any woman? Okay, we'll just go and do those 3 things all the time. You want to be the guy who is a TV presenter? Okay, we'll just get on camera and just talk a lot. Eventually, it will become second nature to you. Like comedians, people are like, you're so brave for they're doing it all the time. They get used to it. It becomes repetition. Like before they do a special for Netflix, they do sets. They do they just do like a little get together. Local clubs, they just bang one after the other, get in the rhythm. These jokes are flying out. My rhythm's there. It's getting like, okay, now I've peaked. I feel like this is fucking easy. Let's go and film the special. Let's go and book in the big tour dates at Wembley Stadium. Boxers do the same. Boxers are like, we're peaking for this fight. We're getting to peak physical condition and sharpness. Okay, I'm there. Let's just keep it ticking for the final week, get the energy levels back, and then on the night, it's going to be the best version of me that it can possibly be. That's what you're always doing. You're just tweaking certain things. You're like, okay, this summer I want to look fucking incredible. You can make it happen. This winter I want to be as strong as an ox. You can make that happen. Okay? You could just, like a fighter can just be like, I'm a kickboxer. I want to learn wrestling. And he's probably not going to beat Khabib because he's been doing it all his life. But if Khabib just stopped wrestling and stopped practicing and this other guy did it relentlessly, then Khabib's got a little handful on his hands. Do you know what I mean? It becomes a lot tougher. And it's like the old quote, isn't it? Like, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? Which is a bit of a cliche, because at the end of the day, if somebody is that much more talented than you, they will probably still beat you because they're just that much more talented. But you can seriously narrow the gap. And if the gap was already pretty close because you already had talent, you can blow past everybody. Like if you want to be the best at anything, you already have talent in it. It's there for the taking. Because like I said, it's repetitions. It's doing it more often. You just become really good at shit that you do. And that's one thing that's just hit me massively lately. It's like the more I do the things that I really want to be good at, that I care about, the better my life becomes in all areas. Okay, guys, that's something I want you to take away. Okay, guys, we've got a bunch of products here at 1STMAN. We've got our men's lifestyle supplement, which is everything that a man needs on a daily basis. We've got our natural diuretic supplement, Defined, which allows you to get an angular face, removes all the water, especially good for summer. We've got our Male Advantage book, which is a paperback. You can order this, or you can get this in audiobook format or ebook format. We've got our Better Looking Man course, which I'll bring up pictures on screen now. And we've got my personal diet plan and fitness plan in ebook format.